let's look at the vocabulary that we would use in Spanish to talk about the different marital status, which we call estado civil. So whether you're single, married, separated, etc. And the real different sort of words that we would need to talk about relationships and what happens in someone's lives in that respect. So we've got here, aquí tenemos un chico, a young man, y una chica, a young woman. El chico y la chica no se conocen. They don't know each other, okay? El chico es soltero, single, es soltero, y la chica es soltera. ¿Ok? Entonces, se conocen, ¿ok? Se conocen. They meet. It's from the verb conocerse, to meet or to know each other, ¿ok? Se conocen. Y empiezan a salir. Empiezan a salir. They start going out. So notice we use the verb salir also to go in the sense of to go out as boyfriend and girlfriend, ¿ok? So, empiezan a salir y se enamoran. They fall in love. Okay? Se enamoran. From enamorarse. Enamorarse. To fall in love. So, while they're going out, él es el novio, the boyfriend, y ella es la novia, the girlfriend. Okay? El novio y la novia. And we could say about them, we could say things like son una pareja, they're a couple, o son compañeros, they're partners, okay? Depending on what we want to say. Una pareja, a couple, compañeros, partners. So, seguimos. Entonces, se prometen. Prometerse is to get engaged, okay? Se prometen. So we would say que él está prometido. He is engaged, está prometido. Y ella está prometida. Okay? Está prometido y está prometida. Si seguimos, if we carry on, seguimos. ¿Y qué pasa aquí? Aquí se casan. They get married. From casarse, to get married. Okay? Casarse, to get married. So, when do they get married? What happens? What event is that? That is called in Spanish la boda, the wedding. And sometimes we can also call it el casamiento, but it's far less common to call it el casamiento, okay? La boda is much more used. And in the wedding, during the wedding, he is el novio y she is la novia. Okay, so notice how we call for bride and groom, we use the same words as for girlfriend and boyfriend. Okay, there aren't any other words. Okay, so el novio is the groom, la novia is the bride. So we carry on. What happens after? Afterwards, aquí we would say están casados. They're married, okay? Están casados. So we could say that él es el marido, o el esposo. There are these two words, they mean the same. El marido o el esposo, and la mujer o la esposa. Okay, so we would say about him, está casado, he is married. Está casada, she is married. And he is el marido o el esposo, and she is la mujer o la esposa. But also notice que ella está embarazada. Okay, está embarazada. Nothing to do with being embarrassed, okay? Está embarazada, she's pregnant. ¿Vale? Está embarazada. Seguimos. Let's carry on. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Aquí tienen un bebé, ¿sí? Tienen un hijo o tienen una hija, depending on what it is. They have a son or they have a daughter, okay? Tienen un hijo o tienen una hija. If we carry on with their lives, aquí tenemos que se hacen mayores, ¿ok? Se hacen mayores. Hacerse is to become. So hacerse mayor is to become older, ¿ok? Another word for that is envejecer. Envejecer, to get old, ¿ok? Envejecer. And after they get old, when they get old, what happens? Sadness strikes. So, get ready for this. Ella muere. She dies, okay? If she dies, what happens? Él es viudo. Él es viudo. He's a widower. Widower? Yeah. He's a widower. Es viudo. Okay? Es viudo. But if the opposite happens, okay, and we have that él muere, if he dies, él muere, we would say that ella es viuda. Okay? Now let's go to the parallel universe where they've got married, but things don't always work out, sadly. Okay, there are times, maybe too many, where things don't work out. Oh no, what happens? Okay, we have that el chico y la chica se pelean. They argue, okay? Pelearse, to argue. Se pelean. And what is the consequence? Se separan. Se separan. They separate from separarse, to separate, okay? Se separan. If they separate, we would say él está separado y ella está separada. Okay? Está separado, está separada. And if things go further, what happens? We have se divorcian. They get divorced, from the verb divorciarse. Divorciarse. So what would we say about him? We would say está divorciado. Divorciado. He's divorced. And about her we could say está divorciada. She is divorced. Okay? So these are the main words, is the main vocabulary that we will need to talk about relationships and being married, separated. One thing that's important to notice is the use, okay, we have, I would say the most important words here are things like soltero and soltera, single, casado, okay, casado, casada, mujer, esposa, separado, divorciado, separada, divorciada, okay? The different, the different civil status, and viudo and viuda. Now, notice, super important, how we use the verb ser, okay? This es, or the verb estar, está, okay? How we use the two verbs to be, depending on what we're saying, okay? So generally, we use es, or ser, for soltero, single, and viudo, or viuda, widow or widower, okay? And then for the others, for being married, we use estar. For being separated and for being divorced, we also tend to use estar, okay? It's not impossible to use ser, especially with in separado and divorciado. Sometimes we can use ser. With casado, we don't really tend to use ser, but notice the different uses, okay? So sometimes we'll say es soltero but está casado, okay? And that's perfectly normal. And the other thing I want to draw your attention to, and I'm going to refer you to another video, is the fact that most of the verbs I've been using here, okay, if you notice, conocerse, to know each other or to meet, casarse, to get married, pelearse, to fight, what else, separarse, to separate, divorciarse, to divorce, hacerse, to become, to get older. They are what we call reflexive verbs, okay? Reflexive verbs. And as such, they work slightly different than non-reflexive verbs. So please go and watch the video on reflexive verbs if you don't know how they work, okay? As a little clue, I'll say, notice that the infinitive, so the word that you use, the word that you find in the dictionary, doesn't end in AR, ER, or IR, but it ends in this, so it's got that, but it's got a se afterwards, okay? And this se will need to be moved from the back, brought to the beginning, and changed into whether it is me for me, te, se, nos, os, or se, okay? So it's not super complicated, but it needs looking to, okay? So if you don't know how these verbs work, please go and have a look at the reflexive verbs video, okay? And so that's all for now.